All right, we will give it literally one more minute and we will jump right in. Again, welcome to everyone who's here. Thank you guys for joining us. I see a lot of familiar names in our attendee list. Excited to see all of you. So we will jump in just a moment. All right, we can go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us. This is the first community conversation of the year with Connect 313. Very excited to have all of you here. We've got a lot of great things planned to share today. And please always remember, if you have questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat, and we will be sure to get to them. I am Micah Burley. I'm the community manager for Connect 313, and I'm excited to kick us off today. So for our agenda, we've got a few cool things. So our welcome, of course, some member spotlights, some key updates, and then just closing out with some key dates for our public meetings this year. All right, so we can go to the next slide. I'll be giving our welcome for today. All right, so I first want to take a moment to introduce our committee management team. We've got some new faces and some shifting that has taken place that we're really excited to share. So I know that Autumn is not on the call just yet, but Autumn Evans is the operations director for the Connect 313 committee management team. She also serves as the deputy director for digital inclusion for the city of Detroit. Naima Wade, I will give her some space to intro herself, but she's our special projects and shared resources management team lead.
Hi, everybody. Naima Wade. I am housed at Wayne State University, where I have spent a number of years working in the teaching and learning space. I have been facilitating and creating transformative learning experiences for adults and for those in the K-12 space, and I'm excited to be joining this work. I'm looking forward to hearing about your ideas and moving some impossible things together for the city of Detroit.
Thank you, Naima. And as I said, I'm the community manager for Connect 313, and I also serve as the policy advocacy and ecosystem committee lead. And in my day job, this is all combined. We all have a few different titles, but I work for the Rocket Community Fund as our digital equity and inclusion program manager. So I will now pass it over to Jordan to intro herself.
Hi there, I'm Jordan Felby. I am the program manager for Connect 313 and the management lead for our structure and operations committee, and the manager of collective impact and digital inclusion at United Way. Q.
Thank you, Jordan. Q.
Hi, everyone. As you heard, I go by Q. My name is Kamisha Goss. I'm the digital literacy and skilling management lead. I am the digital literacy subject matter expert for Connect 313 and librarian at large, here to serve and help with digital resources. Ivory.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ivy Morel. I serve as manager of devices connectivity for Connect 313. I started off my professional career working at Microsoft as a civic tech fellow. Done work with Cut Group Detroit, some work with Warren Flood with Detroit is Limitless, and currently at Human IT serving as community manager, where I help citizens get connected to more digital resources.
Thank you, Ivory. All right, so we can now go into some very exciting member spotlights. So for our first member spotlight, we will have Steve Henry, who is the new community ambassador for District 3, and he's housed within the Osborne Neighborhood Alliance. So Steve's going to introduce himself as our new ambassador, and he's also going to share a really exciting opportunity for engagement. So I'll pass it over to you, Steve.
Yes, thank you so much. And, it's a privilege and an honor actually to be amongst you and amongst this team, as I am one of the new ambassadors, as they just said, for Osborne Neighborhood Alliance, which is in the 48205 area, District 3. My district manager, my executive director, Quincy Jones, actually a phenomenal man and making sure that the community is pushing forth with various programming and things like that. So as you see right here on the screen, we're jumping right into it with this digital divide as we plan to have our first town hall for District 3 on March 17th, and that's 6 p.m. to 8:30. And actually, we're going to have this in person. We may try to figure out some way to do it virtually, but we really are trying to get the community involved. So this would be our first opportunity to discuss the digital divide and what it all entails. Our plan is to have a panel discussion as well as some other things that will be taking place during this time. But overall, during this particular time, it's so important that we engage our community. So we're pushing forth with a needs assessment or a survey for this particular community. And then we're going to have, as I stated here, this is our first town hall, but we're going to have multiple town halls. But we'll also be having a town hall specifically for our youth. We don't want to not include them in this particular process. It's not just about the adults, but it's about our youth, as we know that they had to make a transition as well during this time, during COVID-19. So we want to make sure that we engage them also. So we're going to have a few town halls, a few workshops as we build out our digital literacy programs and things like that. So we have a lot of things in store coming up. And like I said, I'm just grateful to be a part of this team, be a part of Osborne Neighborhood Alliance, to be able to hopefully close this gap. Let me not say hopefully, we will close this gap, but we can only do it as a team. And I think that we are moving very strongly in the right direction. So, thank you for the opportunity. And if you have any questions, my information is right there. My name is Steve Henry. You can email me or text me, call me, whichever one, if you want some additional information. I'm more than willing to answer any questions that I can. And I think that is, and I think Mr. Jones is on the call. My executive director is on the call as well, that he can add something also.
Well, yeah, thank you, Steve. So like Steven said, we're just very excited, looking forward to doing some great work in the Osborne community, and do some great work across the city, some innovative work, innovative ideas to close this digital divide. So we're very excited and grateful for this opportunity. And we're going to be doing some big things, innovative ideas, innovative projects. And Michael, thank you so much. And we're just super, super excited.
Thank you so much, Steve and Quincy. And if you guys have questions, their contact information is here on the slide, but we will send a recap out with all the information shared on the call today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right, so now let's move into our next update from the Belle Isle Conservancy. We've got Miss A.O. Thomas. And if I mispronounced your name, please let me know, and I'm so sorry. Delivering an update from the Belle Isle Conservancy.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Io Micah. I'm really glad to be before Connect 313 and the community today. Again, my name is Io Thomas, and I am the Community Engagement Associate over at the Belle Isle Conservancy. And just to offer a little bit of context, for those who may be unfamiliar, the Belle Isle Conservancy was established in 2012. It is a merger of 4 Belle Isle interest groups: the Friends of Belle Isle, the Belle Isle Botanical Society, the Belle Isle Women's Committee, and the Friends of Belle Isle Aquarium. And so this year we are proudly celebrating 10 years. And so as we are kind of in capping that one chapter and moving into the next, I'm really excited to be here to talk about our community engagement strategy and the Conservancy's aim to engage holistically for the well-being of Belle Isle and benefit of its users. And so if we could just get into the slides. And we can move directly into the first one. Yep. So to offer a little bit more context, you see this phrase here. So there's a little bit of misconception about where the ownership is of Belle Isle. And so just want to share that there and offer a little bit more context. So in 2014, the state began management of Belle Isle, and that is particularly around operations. And so that deals with day-to-day operations that is maintaining infrastructure, removing debris, maintaining park improvements, that sort of thing for all of us to enjoy. And that is a provision of a 30-year lease between the state of Michigan and the city of Detroit. The Belle Isle Conservancy, as you see, we support there. We are a nonprofit partner, and we work in close partnership with both of those entities. And as I'll talk a little bit about today, the public as well, to bring resources to the island. Those resources enhance the park experience, as well as help to facilitate some of the things that I've just mentioned. And so I also want to highlight that a primary goal of the Conservancy is to specifically operate the Belle Isle Aquarium. And so we do that we've been doing that since the aquarium reopened, and we do that with free admission to the public. And so beyond that, we also seek to serve as an advocate for the park experience by amplifying and, when necessary, representing park user perspective, facilitating environmental, educational, and volunteer programming, and then actively raising funds for projects around the island. Next slide, please. And so just again, for clarity, our mission is to protect, preserve, restore, and enhance the natural environment, historical structures, and unique character of Belle Isle as a public park for the enjoyment of all, now and forever. Next slide, please. And so we talk a lot internally about the role of people in our work. And really, we talk a lot about how much of the things that we do really are not relevant if there is no people, right? So we have these 4 focus areas, but even in our programming, even in our planning and preservation, a lot of the things that we preserve, beyond it being, conservation focused, also are to the service of the users of the park. And so without those things, a lot of our work ceases to be relevant. And so one of the things that we talk a lot about is how we approach that engagement. We could use our internal expertise, and then that would make the park and its users subjects, or we could go to the next slide and choose to engage with park users, understanding these things here, and acknowledge the value of community influence in informing our work. And so just a little bit more information here. The Belle Isle is a civic commons, which means we believe it's a public space that is shared by people of all backgrounds, with the capability of cultivating trust and ultimately supporting active and resilient communities. And we believe that equity in the process equals equity in the outcome. And so consistent engagement allows for our community, understanding that, right, we're talking across the digital divide, but also understanding that community investment in decision-making in the process allows for decision input, and relevant allows community members to see themselves in the outcomes. And that is important when we talk about a culture of co-creation, individual stewardship, and buy-in to the island that we all know, love, and share. And so our strategy emphasizes interdepartmental expertise, as well as prioritizes public collaboration, innovation, authenticity, stewardship, and ultimately respect. If we could go to the next slide. And so here, I want to get a little bit into our framework, which is, of course, a continuum, right? And so it is a balance of public being both like city government, state government, as well as public being individuals. And it is the understanding that there are things that are necessary and must occur based on what we know, as well as what we understand the necessary outcomes or needed outcomes to be. The cycle of collaboration, which includes feedback and community engagement, and then the ways that we're able to adjust based on learning and evolution. And so it includes mechanisms like focus groups, feedback forums, assessments, etc. And that's really a lot of the framework, that's the context, that's what we know. But what I want to talk today about, if we could move forward one slide. We've gotten all this information, right? I've come in, shared a lot of things. We've really talked about the context, the mission, the motivation, and the framework. And so what I really want to get into now is setting a foundation to continue to inform our methodology and mechanisms, which is really our vehicle for achieving this level of collaboration and engagement. And it's dependent upon what's most relevant in the information that we have again. And so I want to get into how we can work together to inform those decisions. And so my final slide here is just an ask that we are able to establish some sort of entity within Connect 313 that influences and strengthens BIC community engagement. And so I'll drop the link in the chat, which speaks to, or if you're interested, then please just fill out that link and we will reach out to you directly when the time is right. And so thank you so much to Connect 313 and Autumn and the team for having us here today.
Absolutely. I just want to add some context for the crew, for the team here. Bilal is looking to lean on us to help with the community engagement piece digitally. So that digital component of how to connect to those who are not connected to the internet, right? Who aren't used to using those surveys and whatnot to provide feedback. So they're looking at us to be that thought leader with them. So what we're going to do is establish a subcommittee within Connect 313 that can help allow and eventually other partners build evaluation feedback loops that incorporate both digital aspects as well as non-digital aspects. So, and then there'll be some other programs in the future, right? When we think about how to connect Detroiters and where they connect. And Bilal is absolutely one of those places that we can push being connected and utilizing the internet and devices and really enhancing our digital lifestyles in the city. So thank you so much, Ayo, for being here. I just wanted to add that context for everybody.
Thank you, Autumn. Great to know.
Thank you. All right, so now we will have a presentation from Diana Rodriguez and Paulina Chavez from Everyone On. So I will turn it over to them.
Hi, Micah. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much. Diane actually isn't able to join, but I'm here representing Everyone On. I'm Senior Director of Programs and Special Projects for our organization. I'm actually based in Los Angeles, but super excited to be here within this space and community to share about some of the work that we'd love to engage you all on to support Detroit's efforts in closing the digital divide. So if you could please move on to the first slide. So just wanted to give you all an overview of our organization and then speak specifically about the work we'll be doing in Detroit. So next slide, please. We're looking to foster digital equity, empowerment, and resilience alongside each of you. So as I mentioned, we are a national organization, started in 2012. So this is actually also our 10-year anniversary. I heard one of the other panelists mention that it was their anniversary as well. As a national organization, we aim to unlock social and economic opportunity by connecting families in underserved communities to affordable internet service and computers and providing digital skills trainings. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. We do a lot of different things. And so how do we do this work to scale up, making sure that folks have access to the resources? We have 5 main facets of our work. I won't go into too much detail given limited time, but wanted to just highlight, we do have a national offer locator tool on our website. So if anyone goes to everyoneon.org, you will find our offer locator tool where you can put in your 5-digit zip code, answer questions about what social service programs or other relevant support systems that someone in the household may be receiving, such as National School Lunch Program, WIC, SNAP, so on and so forth. And our tool will actually provide information on low-cost internet, such as Spectrum Internet Assist or hotspot offers that may be available in that zip code. You can also find devices typically refurbished, but at a low price point from our national device partners that can be purchased directly from them, as well as locations in that zip code where there might be some digital literacy or digital skills training. I do want to add a short caveat to that, it was a little bit more, it's not as up to date right now, given the pandemic, and some organizations have not returned to programming that was happening in the past, but we do include contact information. So folks are, of course, encouraged to reach out directly to make sure if there's anything current being offered. So that's free and available for anyone to use. Folks know how to partner with us officially to have access to that. So please I do encourage you all to take a look and let us know if you have any questions. We also do an internet connectivity and device solutions. And what that means is, sometimes folks will, an organization or a company will reach out and say, hey, we want to donate 100 devices to a school. Who can we partner? Who do needs the support? And so we might offer, we could help them source it. We can help purchase them. We can help actually host the event to distribute those things on site. So that is another facet of our work. In select cities, such as Los Angeles, where I'm located, we also have an enrollment hotline where folks can provide one-on-one support or receive one-on-one support to sign up to low-cost internet offers, including the new Affordable Connectivity Program, which I'm sure you all have heard many things about, or additional, support with finding available devices, so on and so forth, through our National Offer Locator tool. We also have our Digital Skills Academy, which is the digital skills curriculum and programming that we deliver directly to to communities and organizations. And so we have our Digital Communities program, which actually delivers 4 to 6 weeks of training with an instructor to folks on the ground, community members, anywhere. We typically target adults, so any 18 and plus. So we have worked with young adults, parents of K through 12 students, for example, senior citizens, through various partnerships across the country. We also provide capacity building trainings to support organizations' needs around digital inclusion, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. And then lastly, we also have some national regional collaborative initiatives where essentially we focus on specific regions to provide some more in-depth support in building and fostering a digital inclusion, digital equity ecosystem. So, happy to expand on that offline with anyone who's interested. So, but just wanted to kind of give you all a bird's eye view of the work that we do across the country. Next slide, please. Thank you. As I mentioned, we've been doing this work since 2012, and in those 10 years or so, we've actually helped connect over 890,000 people. I actually think it's close to 1 million at this point. Through our National Offer Locator tool, we've helped distribute over 5,000 devices, typically laptops, to families across the country. And in the last 2 years, just during the pandemic, we've actually provided training to hundreds. I think I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I know that it's at least 300, 400, 500 people, all in a virtual manner, given the pandemic and the inability to meet in person. So I just wanted to kind of share that. Next slide, please. Thank you. Oh, this goes into a little bit more in depth. So as I mentioned, our National Offer Locator tool, it's relatively easy to use. You enter your zip code, you select the criteria that may be in play in that household, and you'll be able to see the offers that are available. Next slide. So this is what I'm super excited to speak to you all here about, is our digital communities training. So it's a train the trainer session where we work with community organizations and other cross-sector stakeholders, such and anchor institutions such as housing authorities or school districts, so on and so forth, to build capacity for digital inclusion within their own neighborhoods. And so essentially, we aim to provide information and support and resources for organizations who are already doing this work, either as part of their day-to-day programming, or as we've seen during the pandemic, more on an emergency basis, because this is just a need that has kind of sprung out of the pandemic and what happened with COVID. So that's one of our objectives. We also aim to just strengthen the ecosystem of organizations doing this work, as I mentioned, so that we can all work towards digital equity, and sharing program insights with other cross-sector groups to continue to inform strategies, inform funding and policy efforts. As I'm sure you all are aware, with all this new federal and state funding coming down the pipeline, we want to be able to leverage what's happening on the ground with our community partner organizations to make sure that those learnings and those best practices make it up to the folks who are in charge of crafting these programs and the funding models that will support them in the future. Next slide, please. So our digital communities training typically is a few hours long, and these are some of the topics that will be, that we would be covering. So, what is the digital divide? What does it look like on a national level? And then bringing it down to hyper-local community level. So, in Detroit, for example, we would be sharing what are the numbers right now, given the pandemic, so on and so forth. Any federal, state, and local digital equity advocacy efforts, such as Connect 313 and some of the other work, these amazing organizations on the call today. Available resources, both at a national and local level as well. What are the low-cost internet options currently available? What's coming down the pipeline? And, helping organizations learn how to drive adoption and speak about digital inclusion to communities, making the connection with folks and the, I just had the word on the top of my head, the relevancy to their lives. Why is it important to be connected? I've heard a lot of folks say, well, I've lived my whole life without it, so what do I need it for now? And, kind of having those conversations to encourage folks to sign up and have access to the internet in their home. We would also share our curricula and best practice for designing and delivering a training program. So if your organization is something that you all have been thinking about, I would love to have you all join so we could share those best practices, other resources that are online, but not necessarily connected to digital equity or digital inclusion, but we know are often what are the first things that people ask for surrounding financial literacy, resources for K through 12 parents, and social services as well. Outreach strategies, how to facilitate enrollment, and best practices for that. And also, if of interest, how to integrate digital inclusion activities into what your organization is already doing. For example, if you have a case management type of system where there's an intake process, if there's not already, could we add a question around digital inclusion to make sure that that's information, that data that your organization or entity is able to capture, to start being able to track that information. Next slide, please. Yes, so we're actually going to be hosting two of these digital communities capacity train the trainer sessions, March 22nd and March 24th. From one of them is going to be 9 a.m. and through 2 p.m. and one will be 10 a.m. through 3 p.m. So if you actually visit this link, bit.ly.eo Detroit, I'll drop it in the chat as well. You can sign up as interested, and we'll make sure to send you an invite to either of the sessions that you may be available with. I have my email on there. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions about who can attend. Can you share this with other organizations in Detroit? For sure. We would love to have as many organizations who are interested in learning more and hearing from our experiences doing this work on a national level and how we can bring that support to Detroit communities and your organizations. So I don't know if anybody has any quick questions. Otherwise, I can turn it back over to the Connect 313 team.
Thank you so much, Paulina, for that. David, can you drop those dates in the chat again, as well as we're going to make sure that everyone has those dates. Maybe a mass email will go out. We'll put it on the website. So one of the things that we want to do is bring in national experts, such as everyone on. So thank you so much, Paulina, again, for coming today to help bring capacity building to the ecosystem. You guys are here for a reason. So we want to make sure that you guys have all the resources you need to be successful. So thank you so much, Paulina.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we're going to move into some updates from the Connect 313 side. And I will first pass it over to Q, who will give us some updates on our membership portal. Oh, sorry. I'll give some quick updates first. We've got a new website. Take a look, connect313.org. You can also check out resources and our suggestion form at the links that you see on the screen. But if you've got a digital literacy program that you know of, or your organization runs, please let us know so that we can add it to our resource page. Our email address is info@connect313.org. Next slide. Thank you. All right, now I will pass it to Q to give us some updates on our new membership portal.
Hi, everyone. So we have a new membership portal for you. So if you have signed up to be a member with Connect 313 previously, we will be sending out an email confirmation to the email that you signed up with previously so that you can create your login for the membership portal. You do not need to go and join again. We want to make sure our numbers stay true. We don't want to double our membership tonight. Not that way anyway. So if you're already a member, you will get an email and then you can log in. If you want to become a member, you just showed up today and you're so amazed with us. We are so glad and we want you to join. You can go to connect313.org and you can go to get involved on the top of our menu and go to our membership section. In the membership section, there's a button for people who are already members to log in if you've gotten that email yet. And then there's 2 sections for you to join as a member. It's really quick. We're just looking for name, email, a little contact, a bio about you, and some information if you're interested in serving on a committee or on a subcommittee. So please check this out. If you are new and want to become a member, check out the website. We also have a new explainer video up there. And if you are already signed up, please be on the lookout for that new email so you can create your login and add your picture and start to see the other members. There will be a new directory on the portal so you can see your fellow members and interact. And you'll also be able to see the events and new information about things like this Everyone On training. We'll add that information there too so you can see the details. So we look forward to it. Let us know what your experience is like on our new portal. We hope you love it.
Thank you so much, Q. And also for context, it's super easy to join. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is live, work, or learn in the city of Detroit and follow those prompts that Q just shared to become part of our amazing group here. All right, so I will now pass it over to Autumn, who's going to give us some updates on the Affordable Connectivity Plan, as well as some digital equity funding opportunities and the Connect 313 infrastructure plan. All right, passing it over to you, Autumn.
Thank you, Micah. Just want to reiterate the importance of that membership portal and why we decided to put it on the site and make it a tool. Q did a great job of explaining how to get onto it. But in the annual review, I think it was very, you guys made it very much known that you wanted a way to connect with each other. And so this will be that connector piece for you. Please, as Q said, go in, set up your profile, make some connections, make some, connections around digital inclusion, either through Connect 313 or outside of Connect 313. If there are, projects that you want to work on with a specific partner, I think that's another great way to do that. Also, we'll be using this membership portal to gather additional feedback on proposals and suggestions that come through Connect 313. So you want to keep this membership portal alive and moving and full of, thoughtful interactions. And then, like I said, this is a way for us to build community. So please go sign up and activate your page. So thank you. You can move forward. All right, so as everyone knows, for a very long time, if you don't know, last year, the federal government issued the emergency broadband benefit, which was a $50 a month subsidy to households, as well as a $100 one-time discount for a device. And that was a temporary benefit and based off of usage or based off of need. And so Detroit did very well signing up residents to get this this benefit. I believe we had over 80,000 households that signed up for that $50 a month benefit. So what the FCC decided in Congress was to continue a version of that program. And what we have now is the Affordable Connectivity Plan, which is a $30 a month discount off your internet bill, with that still that one-time discount off a device for $100. The difference between the two, ACP now is a 5-year program. So emergency broadband benefit was temporary. We didn't know when it was going to end. It was very rushed to get out there, get that information out there to residents. But now we have the Affordable Connectivity Plan, which is $30 a month. And for a lot of people on those income-based plans, $30 a month now means free internet for 5 years. So we're in the process of building out a campaign, another awareness campaign that really leans on partners to build awareness, right? So making sure that where people go to receive assistance, that the ACP is made available to them. Also, a few different changes. Before, I believe the income guidelines was 135% of the federal poverty guidelines. They've now raised it to over 200% of the federal poverty guidelines as a qualifying household. And so that opens up that subsidy to a lot of our families who may be struggling to make, to make ends meet. And now they don't have to cut off their internet in order to buy food. And we know that being connected means being connected to opportunities, especially with the rise in prices. I know, I'm just gonna be honest, I paid $15 the other day for a pack of chicken thighs, and I was blown away. So having, anything as far as income support for our families and our residents is so important. That call center number is still active, 313-241-7618. If you call it today, you'll still get a Detroit resident who can help walk your residents or you through the application for the Affordable Connectivity Plan. One other qualification, they've now opened up ACP up to mothers who receive WIC. So if you have, any populations that you serve who receive a WIC, they now qualify for the Affordable Connectivity Plan. They did drop the COVID loss of income as an eligibility, but I believe by raising the poverty guideline to 200%, they tried to still retain a lot of those members. If you already have signed up families, please be at rest. There's nothing else you have to do in order to sign up for affordability for this Affordable Connectivity Plan. There's nothing you have to do. It's an automatic rollover to be opted in, and you'll just see the benefit drop to $30 a month. And then there are also some other protections that they built into this program that weren't quite there for EBB. So we're glad to see that the FCC heard us. They saw that there was a need. I believe that Detroit being a leader in signups really helped drive affordability as a barrier to connection. So thank you all for your hard work there. Next slide. All right, so with this infrastructure bill, there is a ton of money that's coming to digital equity work. I just really wanted to highlight this. If it hasn't been on your radar, please put it on your radar. The two that I'm referring to right now is the Digital Equity Act programs. The Congress has identified $2.75 billion to support the closure of the digital divide. So we're talking about, digital literacy and skilling. We're talking about device distribution, tech help, like all the wraparound services that go into supporting access and supporting adoption of broadband services. So I really want you all to be aware of that program, as well as the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program, or BEAD. That's $42 billion available to communities to close the availability gap. So you'll see a lot of infrastructure and access programs coming out of that. But that also too includes a lot of our digital inclusion interventions, as far as making sure that that full participation, right? Making sure that the adoption rates for these types of investments are happening. And what I love about what Congress did is that they put some qualifiers on which types of communities can access these programs, and minority focused communities can absolutely access these programs. Regions with high poverty rates, that's another one. So I'm pretty confident in Detroit's ability to attract these types of resources. I will say that Connect 313 has not started, we haven't started building out our ask yet. But until we do that, I definitely wanted, our community to know that these are the types of resources that would be made available. Next slide. Infrastructure. All right, so the city of Detroit has a broadband master plan that we will be announcing. Well, it's already been announced, Joshua, I believe, at the District 2 community meeting announced that Detroit is going to pursue open access network for our residents. And so soon enough, you will see a broadband master plan. This is the first of Detroit's kind. We've never done this before. We've never done it citywide before. And that this will help solve the affordability and access piece that a lot of Detroiters have been facing as far as adoption. Don't forget, over 30% of Detroiters are completely disconnected from the internet, meaning they have no connection either at home or through cell phone. So this will be a way and an avenue for us to get our residents connected. I will say that we are taking a very agnostic approach to this. We are looking at options that just drive competition. We're looking at options that drive competition and really just I'm sorry, I got distracted by the chat. But yeah, if you can mute your phone or mute your device, please do. And then also I have some background noise. But yeah, so we're looking at options to drive competition to make these to make our resident experience a much better one when it comes to broadband access. So next slide, please. All right, Micah, is this me or is this you?
This is me. I can take
All
over
right.
from here.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right. So this is some information specific for the committees, but applies here as well. So I don't know that we went over the governance structure of Connect 313, but if you're a member of Connect 313, you have an opportunity to provide feedback on recommendations that come through the committees. And those recommendations are actually brought forth by suggestions made by anyone in the community broadly. So you don't have to be a member of Connect 313 to make a suggestion of a way in which you'd like to see the digital divide being bridged in the Detroit community broadly, or in your community or neighborhood. So some really key dates that are important to share for the committees to present recommendations. They will share those recommendations to the council at our March 24th council meeting. So that will be the feedback session for any suggestions that are brought forth as recommendations by the committees. And then from that council feedback, those recommendations would then be presented to the Joint Assembly or Board of Connect 313, depending on the funding request. So anything $50,000 or less will go to the Joint Assembly. Anything $50,000 or more will go to the Board of Connect 313. And to give a little more context as well on what the Joint Assembly or Board and Board are, the Joint Assembly is comprised of each of the leaders of the committee, so the chair of each committee, as well as individuals that were nominated by the Board of Directors of Connect 313. So anything 50,000 or less, like I said, goes to the Joint Assembly. 50K or above goes to the board for a vote. So please make sure that you have joined as a member so that you can be part of that feedback session on the 24th of next month. And some upcoming dates. So community conversations such as this meeting here are public facing. Anyone can join. It's not a closed session. It's not a members only thing. You can be in Timbuktu enjoying these sessions, and we will be happy to have you. So those upcoming dates are on your screen, and these meetings happen at a bi-monthly cadence. So our next community conversation is April 28th. For the council meeting dates. And like I said, the council is comprised of members of Connect 313. So if you're a member, you want to make sure that you're present for the council meeting, which is on the 24th of next month, so that you can provide feedback on the recommendations that the committees will share. And these days are all available on the calendar on our website. And also to share, if you'd like to be a spotlight, so sharing those updates that we heard from Belle Isle Conservancy, everyone on, and Steve from Osborne Neighborhood Alliance, let us know. And you can do that by emailing info@connect313.org. So also wanted to share another quick update from a partner organization of ours, Empower. Do we have representation from Empower on the call today? All right, well, I'm happy to share this update for them. And we've actually got some, oh, Marletta's here on the call. Let me make sure that you're promoted to a panelist real quick, Marletta, and I'll let Marletta give that update for Empower herself.
Just promoted her. My God.
All right, I'm gonna pass over to you, Marletta. You on yet?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey everyone, so sorry, I was not expecting to show my face. My name is Marletta. I'm Director of Development for Empower, and March 12th nationally for Empower is Women of Color in Tech Day, where we're trying to promote across all of our regions the value and power of really supporting women in tech careers. Empower is a workforce development program, 6 months absolutely free, where we provide tech training, job placement, and internships. So Girls Talk Tech on March 11th is an opportunity for any young woman interested in tech. It could be an 11th or 12th grader. It can be someone 18 to 26. We also service veterans and the military connected. So it can be a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, but anyone who may be interested in just hearing firsthand from mid-level and senior level women in tech careers locally to share very candidly in some breakout sessions, some very intimate breakout sessions, some of the challenges, what it feels like to be in a room where everyone looks different, when the vernacular may be different than what you're used to, when the support structure may be different, and how they broke through that and how they're finding success. So we'll have a dynamic keynote speaker, some breakout sessions, opportunities for the participants to win some gift cards at Amazon. So we do encourage you to share this. I do have a flyer that I can send. I'll post my contact information and also the link to this, but we'd love for you to share this with anyone you feel might be interested in learning more about how they can transition into the tech world and really find some entry-level tech positions.
Thank you so much for joining in and sharing that helpful information, Marletta. If you don't mind, can you drop any relevant information or flyers in the chat as well so that folks can have that before they exit the meeting today?
I will do. I don't know if I'm savvy enough to drop a flyer, but I'll see if I know how to add it.
Okay.
I know links, but I don't know flyers, but I will try. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
You can also share it with us via email, and we'll make sure that we get that information posted.
I have it, Jordan. I can send it to you. I have it.
Perfect.
So we got it. Yep.
Yeah, there's a question in the chat, I believe, for Marletta. So I just wanted to flag that. It says, I'm with Detroit at Work, Michigan Works, Detroit Employment Solutions. Do you have any members from this organization?
Members, so we don't have members, but we do have partners, and Detroit at Work is definitely a partner of ours, if that answers your question. But we love to connect and talk more, the merrier.
Thank you, Marletta.
Thank you.
All right. So next steps, first off, thank you all for attending this meeting. Thanks for hanging tight for this almost hour. If you have any questions, need any information, want to share information with us, please let us know, info@connect313.org. Please engage with us on social media. So our social media handles are @connect313. And we've got LinkedIn, we've got Instagram, and we've got Facebook. We're very tech savvy over here. And also make sure you visit us at connect313.org, become a member, make sure you join our membership portal. And like I said, if you have any further questions, we'll stay on for a few minutes after this call, but if there's anything else, please absolutely let us know at info@connect313.org. If you've got questions, you can either hit the raise hand function, put it in the chat, And we're happy to unmute you or answer the questions directly if you want to just pop them in the chat. But if you don't have any questions, you're free to jump off. And we thank everyone for their time today.
Thank you. Good meeting.
Thank you.
I see a raised hand. Do you need to be unmuted?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes.
Hi. Yeah, thank you. This was very informative. I just recently joined, and I was just curious. So I'm with a company called Baracom. I don't know if you've heard of us. We're a national company, and we're very involved in helping communities, and we've done a lot of work with CBRS LTE networks, getting connectivity into areas that have none. And one of my accounts is Detroit Public Schools I work with, but I wanted to see what would be the best way to make the organization aware of how we can help in this space. And what's really cool, and probably one of the coolest things out there right now, and addressing the digital divide, is this CBRS, which stands for Citizens Broadband Radio Service. And it's very cool. You are essentially, think of putting an umbrella over an area that provides complete connectivity. I don't want to ramble on too much about it, but I certainly would like to, make the appropriate people aware of how we can help in this space. Heard a lot of things that, sounded like great fits for what we do, and we're really one of the only providers one of the few providers doing it right now. I'm sure there'll be more as time goes on, but it's a relatively newer offering that just many organizations aren't doing.
I'll take a stab at first answer. So we have a committee called Devices and Connectivity. I think that connecting with that group first will be really great in helping to educate the ecosystem on the different types of connectivity options of how people connect. Okay. And
well,
maybe
when I joined, I requested to join that committee.
okay. So if you want, you can submit a suggestion to say, I think there's a lot of education that needs to happen in the ecosystem around different types of connectivity. So we'd love to have you as a spotlight partner, or even to host some type of webinar outside of, our community conversations around how different ways communities can connect. So I think those are a few ways that you and your business can lean into the ecosystem and provide different options. Like I said, we're very agnostic to the way that connections happen right now. I think we're still at that information gathering phase in this ecosystem. So I definitely think there's a way for you to be a thought leader and a thought partner in this system, and provide us with information first. I think that'll definitely lend its benefit to the ecosystem.
Okay, great. And Autumn, I don't want to take up a lot of time right now, but is there any way I might be able to connect with you for like a few minutes outside of this?
Oh, sure. I'll drop my email in the chat. If you send me an email, we can connect offline.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joe. So I will now pass to Monique Tate, who has her hand raised for a question as well.
Can you hear me? I think you unmuted me, right?
Yes, we did, and we can hear you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, and good afternoon. Yeah, good meeting for the part that I was able to catch in on. I just wanted to ask that person, Dougherty, I guess it was Joe Dougherty or something like that. Did he say Bearcom, BEARCOM?
Yes, I did.
And where are you?
Yes, I did.
What area are you out of? Because you're not a Detroit-based entity, correct?
Yeah, we have our office here in Detroit is in Wixom, Beck Road in 96. We're a national company, so we're all over. But
so you have an office in Wixom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So anyway, my question wasn't initially to you, but since you started talking, and I think most of the people have left the call, I just took the liberty to ask. So thank you for answering that. Very familiar with CBRS technology. As a matter of fact, we're implementing it. So that's a whole nother story to talk about it. But I pulled up your website and I'll look into more information and then reach out from there. But my to the people on Connect 313, what I was saying in the chat, and thank you so much, whoever that is that responded, because you know how everybody's dropping stuff in the chat, and if we could just do that, copy the chat feature, that would be so helpful. And I know you said you weren't sure about how to set it up, and it's probably something in the settings that you'd have to do before the meeting starts. But because I've been on a webinar before where I could copy it, so I'm just saying I think it's potential to be able to do it, and that would be so greatly appreciated, because I couldn't copy anything. I couldn't even like copy the window and then paste the information about everyone on. It's like, oh my goodness, I got to try to write all this stuff down while I'm doing too many things. So
Monique, are you signed up for, are you on our listserv for our email?
Yes, I am. That's how I got my meeting notice. So
awesome. So what we'll do is we'll send a follow-up email with all of these links and flyers.
Thank you, Autumn. That would be super helpful.
Yeah, okay. And then we'll make that a practice moving forward. And then also whatever's here, we're working on translating it to the website. So absolutely.
And
thank you for the feedback.
Thank you so much. That's why I got on to explain it. I said probably was clear in typing that. So thanks a lot for the time. And again, good meeting. Thank you, and talk later, everyone. Goodbye.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Monique. And we had another question from Candace, and Candace is actually the vice chair for one of our committees. So Candace, you had a question about cybersecurity specifically?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I just want to know, does anyone have access to any cybersecurity help? Because I am having some issues with unauthorized entry into my network, and I call it, now I understand the gap of knowing knowledge and trying to get things done, because I know what I need to get done, but I don't have the capability to know how. I need a cybersecurity networker to make sure that all the holes are sealed up right now. And so, you know, I look at everything in life as everything is meant to happen. And so I'm looking at it as a Detroiter who now is having a problem with cybersecurity and really needs the help right now of getting things done, because it's actually making me look like I can't get anything done. And it's not that, it's just I have unauthorized entry on my network and I don't want to spread it. So does anybody have any type of help or assistance that can help me out with this?
Hey, Candace, this is David Luia, the project manager. Are you talking specifically about accessing like Microsoft Teams or something on your management lead side? I'm sorry, your chair side?
It's Microsoft Leads. It's the only thing that doesn't affect it if I do end-to-end encryption. If I use Proton Mail, then I can get an email out. But anything dealing with Microsoft, especially Google, it's not, my emails are not getting to people. And so what they found out was there is something in my system. I found something connected to my router, and then they found a ghost router. So I have to run around and get my computer wiped clean and my phone wiped clean and get a new router. That's a whole different.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to first apologize that that's happening to you and that you're experiencing that. I know that can only, I can only imagine the anxiety that is causing and the worry for you. so Naima dropped a resource in the chat, a Wayne State resource, and thank you so much, Naima. And Q, I believe we had Jahara Muhammad on digital literacy and skilling. Doesn't she do something within cybersecurity? I know I think she teaches cybersecurity, but I wonder if she would be a connection, a great connection for Miss Candice.
Yes, I will reach out to Jahara. Yeah, I do believe she has some specialty in cybersecurity work as well.
Okay.
Greatly appreciate it right now.
If you drop your email in the chat, then Q, can you make sure that they connect?
Yep.
I'm going to drop the safe. I call it my safe email. It's an encrypted end-to-end email. It seems like I have a lot of emails, but this is the one that I'm working all my business out of. And I want to end with this, that it's not only affecting just my career life, but I can't even send off my mother's veteran stuff to get her house done, because my whole network is somebody's on there. So I have a pile of veteran stuff that has to get done for my mother that I can't even send out right now because I'm too scared it's going to get in the wrong hands. So that's what I'm looking at. You know, it's right now, it's driving me nutty. And that's the only reason. It's just really disheartening. Thank you, though.
Absolutely, we'll do the best that we can to support. We're not the subject matter experts in cybersecurity, but Connect 313 absolutely, as you know, we have these partners who are. So making sure that we connect you to the right people who can support you through this very, very difficult time. All right. Thank you so much. And Q, she put it in the chat. Is there anything else you want to address, or anyone else have any questions? No. All right. Well, I consider this a very successful meeting. It will be posted on the website for review. Hopefully within the next week. We'll make sure we follow up and send out all of these resources. Ms. Candice, you have gotten the team thinking about ways we can support more small businesses in protecting themselves, and also just anyone in protecting ourselves. I think, like I was telling Mr. Joe, there's an information gap, right? There's a learning that residents even need to have around the way that networks work, and how to better protect ourselves online. We always talk about like clickbait and phishing and everything like that. But what about when it goes deeper and someone has installed a ghost router to your network? Like, what does that even mean? So I think that we're looking at some very great resources being developed. And once again, we're so sorry this is happening to you. And if there's any way that we can be a further support, we would love to try to do that for you. All right.
And you know, the thing about it is too, you have to look at this. I have all Apple products. So in order for me to get them, I have a brand new Mac, the latest one out. I have to go all the way to Troy to get it all, erased and everything. Then go from there to Comcast to get a new router. Then go from there to T-Mobile to get a new phone. I'm the fortunate one that actually knows what's going on.
Yes.
About those people that don't know and are getting their identity stolen and don't even understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll keep digging on our end. We have some things happen in our team's chat of how we can better support you and also people experiencing similar situations. So be on the lookout for that connection to Jahara from Q, and then also some other resources.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, anything else from the community?
I'm going to go ahead and close the recording. So if there are any questions that people want to ask not on the recording, now is your chance. Thanks, everyone.
All right.